When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud, too.
You negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going, you hear me? You keep going, you're doing good, you keep going. Do not quit on me, you keep going. It hurts. I know it hurts, you keep going. You keep going. It's all art from here.
And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win.
Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like this ocean that you're gonna step into and drown. But as soon as you step into it, you realize it was not that deep at all, and you can keep walking through it. And I just love that visual, because a lot of times when it's like we have this anxiety around this big decision we have to make, if you actually take the step and realize that it's not death, you're not going to drown immediately. There's plenty of other steps you can take from there, even if you get a little wet.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, "You've changed," remember, it's because they don't know how to say, "You've grown."
I've lost my mind on this game, like Vincent van Gogh, dedicated his life to his art, and he lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me, but fuck it. When that gold belt is around my waist, and my mother has a big mansion, my girlfriend has a car for every day of the week, and my kids' kids get everything they ever wanted, then it will pay. Then I'll be happy I lost my mind.
There's a Bible verse I think about sometimes. Many times. It goes, "Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?' And I said, 'Here am I. Send me.'"
You can see my arm. My wound is visible. But it's a lot of people in this room that are wounded, and you can't see it. And it's internal. And so the opportunities that we pass up to be a blessing to other people, we can save their life with just one encounter.
You just gotta quit tripping while you're in the process, because the process is necessary. You may not see it now, but when he gets you on the other side of it, you're gonna see exactly why it went that way. And you're gonna be okay with it. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why I lose my job? You ain't the only one unemployed. Oh Lord, why he leave me? You ain't the first chick got left. This might not even be your last time getting left. Pull yourself together and quit tripping, cause you in the process.
People coming home from work late at night, doing the same module every day. 9 to 5, living for the weekends. 9 to 5, make a little bit of coin, so they can do what they love with who they love. But the majority of their life is spent in a cubicle, doing what they hate next to the motherfucker they hate too. It doesn't make any sense. As time goes on, the windows of opportunities close, and they look around like, man, I just had some bad breaks in your life. You know, things didn't work out my way. Bullshit. Take some ownership. Your life is exactly what you wanted. Because every day, you've had choices to make. You're responsible and credible for every single choice. The small ones that you don't even remember, you don't even think anyone else will have credibility or ownership of. Some do have ownership of them. The little tiny nuggets of life. The harder paths. The little tiny seeds that bear the fucking great oak in the forest. They all get planted one day. The little saplings before they turn to the monster. On your account, every single day, you've made the choices.
In order to be successful, you have to fail a lot. To double your rate of failure. If you want to be successful faster, fail more often. You see, there's this law of probabilities that says the more you fail, the more likely you are to succeed. The less you fail, the less likely you are to succeed. Peter Drucker says you would never hire a person who has not had some major failures in life because they haven't learned anything. Stick to the fight. When you're hardest hit, it's when things seem worst that you must not quit. And if you don't quit, and if you keep on keeping on, then you will become unstoppable.
People want to work hard for a medal, put work in, and they want to receive something for their work immediately. Success happens behind closed doors. Nobody will be there on the journey. It's you versus you. No one is going to save you except for you. It's on you. You have to work hard, not for a medal, but you're working hard to pay your dues. You're putting in this sweat equity so that later in life, you never have to look at the ceiling and ask, what if? It's not about the recognition. It's not about the medal. It's about you. And you know exactly what it takes. Everybody knows what a hard day of work feels like. Everyone knows what it feels like to go to the gym and work your off. And afterwards, you know exactly what that feeling is. When you truly work hard, everyone at some point. But most people have that kind of moment once a month. You know truly what it takes, and it's hard. But if you think the price of being successful is too high, wait until you're served the bill for regret. You don't have a choice here. You have to put in the something.
Top 5% are very clear about where it is they're going and what it is they want to accomplish. And when I look at unsuccessful men and women, or men and women who seem to be unhappy and floundering, I find that almost invariably they have a very, very limited sense of direction, sometimes no sense of direction at all. You see, we as human beings are goal-seeking organisms. We only function at our very best when we're working toward accomplishing something that is important to us. And in my estimation, 80 to 90% of all the unhappiness is caused by people having no sense of direction. They don't know where they're going. As they say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Time management is the control of the sequence of events. And most of your stress in life comes from a feeling that you are out of control of the sequence of events. A person who's making $250,000 a year is not 10 times smarter or better than a person who's making $25,000 a year. Why is there 10 times the difference in income? And you go all the way up the ladder to a person who's making $2.5 million a year. Is that person 100 times better, smarter than the person making $25,000 a year? Impossible.
I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. And I just believe that. I believe that I can create whatever I want to create.
Do not save your dreams for somebody else to do. Every single day you wake up and somebody that had less than you ends up with more than you. And that should drive you fucking insane. Watching somebody steal your dreams, watching somebody live their dreams for you is the ultimate form of regret. Why not you? You have the tools, you have the brain power, you have the abilities, you are more than capable to conquer the world, but for some reason, you're stuck in this irrational box of beliefs that you're destined for being fucking mediocre.
The law of belief simply says that whatever you believe with feeling, and this is the key, with feeling, and the more emotion you put into a belief, becomes your reality. It becomes your reality because you will always act in a manner consistent with your beliefs. As a matter of fact, your entire reality right now is simply an outward picturing of your most intensely held beliefs. If you believe something that is positive or believe something that is negative, or as Henry Ford said, if you believe you can do a thing or if you believe you cannot, you are right.
Myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. And just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on.
You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom. You're walking to things with your eyes fully open. You've got to know what you're getting into. You have to take possession of your life.
If you play with fear of failure, or you play with the will to win, or that supersedes the fear of failure, I think it's a weakness either way, right? Because if you play with the fear of failing, you'll have the pressure on yourself to play, to capitulate to that fear. If you play with the sense of I want to win, then you have the fear of what happens if you don't. But if you find common ground in the middle, in the center, then it doesn't matter. You're unfazed by either, right? And that enables you to really just stay in the moment, stay connected to it, and not feel anything other than what's in front of you. So, you know, I try to just be dead center.
Life is hard, and that's the way it's always been. It's our lot. Now, if you don't want to accept that, that's up to you, okay? But it's our lot. It's our place.
Dream big dreams. Let your mind float free. All really exceptional men and women dream big dreams. They allow their minds to float. They think of what they could be and what they could do and what they really, really want.
Why are you so focused on what could go wrong when everything could go right? By nature, the journey is intimidating. It's built in. That's how it should be. No movie would be exciting if it wasn't, oh, what if he falls off that beam? What if he falls off the bridge and dies? It's supposed to be scary. That's why it's incredible. It's supposed to be scary. You're supposed to risk everything, and you're meant to accomplish it.
The biggest way in life to fail is to let motherfuckers know what you want to do.
Never let them know.
Never let them know. So when I disappear, you know I'm doing something. You know I'm doing something.
Do you ever have a day where you just think, yeah, I can't be asked to do anything. I'm not going for a run. I'm not stretching. I'm doing nothing.
Every day.
Yeah. So you have the thought, but you don't have the day.
Every day.
Do you ever let yourself have a day where you just watch Netflix?
Never, because
Some
guess
good shit
what?
on Netflix.
I'm haunted. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. There may be some days I get up with poopy pants, and I'm like, you know what, man? Like, what am I training for?
Yeah.
I have no race in the docket. Why am I having this such a structured life? Why? And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I retire every day.
Yeah.
I'm done with this shit. And I sit around and say, okay. And then this is my thought process. So you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them. Being fine with being mediocre. You want to go back to who you were, huh, David?
And you have that conversation with yourself every day?
Not every day, it's those bad days. It's those bad days. I see a whole bunch of people walking around out here who have no idea how talented they truly are. Now I'm talking about talent, like some God-given ability. Talent that sometimes you have to hone, you have to work on, and you have to harness yourself. And they just walk around just on their phones, just clueless to how powerful they are.
If you don't change what you're doing and how you do it, nothing else will change. Nothing is going to change unless you change what you're doing. Change the junk food that you're eating. Change the time that you wake up. Change what you do when you get out of bed. Change what you do with your time. You have to change some things or nothing will change. So make changes and start little. Get up a little bit earlier. Get a workout done. Doesn't have to be epic. Doesn't have to be epic.
Why pay the price? Why work this hard? Why go this far? Why try to learn this much? Why try to do it all? Why try to see it all? Why try to have it all? Why do it? Why learn it? Why study? Why put yourself out? Why try to take on this much responsibility? Why develop yourself to the full? Why try to become all that you can possibly become? Why try to earn as much as you can earn, share as much as you can share, develop every skill you possibly can, see every human you possibly can, go to every class you possibly can, touch everybody you possibly can? Why do that much? Why go that far? Why share that much?
This is my life. In that restaurant, I quit my job, left my canister in that restaurant, my spray canister, got back in my Ecolab truck, and I went home. And I started working out like somebody. I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth. What people don't understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. You can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing.
Scratch, friction, obstacles create growth. There's no friction when you're this far up in the game anymore. Do hard work. You can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are. But that's the part people don't want to dive into.
Yeah.
Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. There's no magic pill or a magic potion. All you can do is outwork. It was you. There was no pat back at 300, at 275, at 250, at 220. No, that was you.
You see this guy here staring back at you? Yeah. That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
There was no team. It was you. There was no weight loss program or mom and dad waking you up saying you can do it, you can be better, trying to build belief. You built belief when you had nothing. Rock bottom. There's no passion. There's no motivation. There's no, oh my God, man. No. It's every day of your life just doing. Where's passion when you're 300 pounds? Where's the motivation when you can't read and write? Where is it? So how did this happen? I just did. I just did. The problem is you. And you don't want to fix it. There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem.
Billions of people on this planet, and you don't think 100,000 are gonna be your fan? 100,000 won't buy your product? 100,000 won't support you? The guy walking wishes he had a bike. The guy biking wishes he had a van. The guy with the van wishes he had a sports car. The guy with the sports car wishes that he had a supercar. The guy with the supercar, 40 years old, looks at the 16-year-old that's walking and thinks, damn, I wish I had more time. If you look around enough, everybody will have something that you don't have that you want. And if you're too busy looking around at what you want, you're never gonna appreciate what you have, and then you never lived. You get in the car, no music, nothing, you go on a 2-hour-long drive. The driving is just enough stimulation so that you're not so bored where you have to quit, have to scroll, you don't want to yourself. The driving, focusing on the road, just enough stimulation, but then you're thinking for hours and hours. A lot of people say, my best shots are in the shower. Shower thoughts. The only reason shower thoughts are a thing is because that's the only time in the day most people aren't distracted by something significant. Just water over you, and then you're thinking for 5 minutes, and you just stare at nothing. You close your eyes, you stare at a wall, and let yourself think for 10-15 minutes a day. Your life will change. That's how you get in touch with your identity, your mind, your ideas. That's how you come up with something incredible. If you feel stuck, it's not because you're an idiot, it's not because you don't have good ideas. You're not letting your mind open up. It's the most powerful thing this universe has ever created. Science cannot comprehend the human brain, and it will never be able to comprehend the human brain. It is too incredible, it's too powerful. All you have to do is let it work. It takes like 10 minutes to boot up. So every day, just get into practice of this. Stare at a wall. A lot of people just hope. They just wait for an idea to pop in their head, something to happen. They're like, why is my depression not going away? Why do I feel so stuck? I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for something. I'm stuck. I'm waiting. You have to put conscious effort in.
So I got an email the other day. This guy's talking about he's struggling to get up, wants to go to the gym and start grinding early in the morning. I said, when I was 24, I had the same condition, man. I had the same problem. So I started studying it. The more I studied it, I came with this crazy conclusion. I'm just being a bitch. When I say bitch, it's not gender specific. It's a mindset. In Godlish, it means weak, soft, feeling sorry for yourself. Get your ass up and lace them up.
Incredible ideas in just that 5 minutes. Imagine if you gave it more time. When you do find success, because you will, stay vigilant and stay humble. because you never know. Sometimes if you have success and it was a little too easy, it's hard to see at the time.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel to prove to everyone that I worked.
What?
That I was somebody.
Oh, you are so full of crap. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't gonna never happen.
In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win.
Lose! I don't lose! I win! I win! That's my job! That's what I do!
Marcus Aurelius says your only focus should be on getting better at what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. I don't give up anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
Tired. 14 days, 13 days, don't mean nothing. Tired is only in the mind. You tell yourself you're tired, you're gonna be tired. I don't get tired.
The humbling reality that I'm not special, and if you want to be good at anything, you have to work really hard. And if you want to be the best in the world at something like I do, I want to build robots better than anybody else in the world.
So what you say is, I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I don't care what it is, I'm unstoppable. Nothing will stop me. The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it. That 95% of the goals that you set for yourself, you will achieve if you refuse to quit.
This drive and passion, and it may come from nothing. Like for me, there was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm going to be somebody. And it has to be there because on all those bad days, and all those days you don't want to do shit, you have to be your own motivator, your own coach, your own trainer, your own everything. So to do that, you have to come into work, and work is, whatever your work may be, ready to go.
The odds were stacked against me. I won anyway, because I win.
You won because Edward Darby came forward. You got lucky.
Guys like you always think other people get lucky. I don't get lucky. I make my own luck.
Play to win. Don't play to avoid loss, because the things you fear are the things that's going to happen to you. Set that target on something positive. Work for it. Expect it. Bobby Knight at Indiana University says the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare to win. See, everybody wants to win, but are you willing to prepare to win?
We've been working out hard in the gym for a month, but we haven't seen any results. So we get all down in poopy pants and shit. What the f do you expect? You're not putting in the work. You have to do more. You gotta stop telling yourself that you're doing enough. In life, it's never enough until you feel this overwhelming feeling of shit, man. I'm outworking the crowd. I'm outworking everybody. I'm doing more. It's not until then, once you get there, that's when you know you've done enough.
To be the best in the world at what you do, it's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great.
Do you actually want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing. And if you don't really want to do it, what's going to stop you? Just about anything that comes up. Just about any obstacle that gets in your way becomes an excuse. It becomes a reason. It becomes a rationale for not proceeding down that path.
According to all aerodynamic laws, the bumblebee cannot fly because its body weight is not in the right proportion to its wingspan. But ignoring these laws, the bee flies anyway.
Some of you have been average for so damn long, you don't know what it is to do hard work. But there's a lot of you out there who want to be much more than average, but just don't know how to do it every single day, the grind. You need to find someone to oil those gears up. So check it out.
For those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule. Hunt or be hunted.
There's rules. Roy Cohn's 3 rules of winning.
The first rule is the simplest. Attack, attack, attack. Rule 3. This is the most important rule of all. okay? No matter what happens,
You have to drive
no
as
matter
fast.
what they say about you, no matter how beaten you are, you claim victory and never admit defeat. Never admit defeat.
Never say never. Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.
The rule number one is to get vitamin N. That's the rule number one. You need to inject yourself with vitamin N. Learn to say no. Secondly, is setting your priorities right. Thirdly, is avoid complaining.
So the goal was to be the first one at breakfast. So I set my alarm. I make sure I'm up by sunrise. I get out of bed. I put on my gear and I head downstairs. But when I get there, Kobe's already there, with ice packs on his knees, drenched in sweat. Now, it took me a minute to figure it out, but this guy wasn't only awake before me. He had already worked out. He had just played in the finals days earlier. Meanwhile, I'd been off for months and I was still exhausted. What he had done that morning was incomprehensible to me. That dedication he had only days after falling short of an NBA championship. That taught me something I've never forgotten. Legends aren't defined by their successes. They're defined by how they bounce back from their failures.
How bad do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward, pushing onward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to find that dream again. For it is dead, and in its death is replaced by regret. Right now, it's your choice.
If you don't tire it, this is good question. You have to worry about yourself. But this is Saturday. Your 6th day, you work so hard. Of course you're gonna tire it. Tomorrow rest, and Monday you're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She's gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain. You wanna become best. You wanna become champion. And now you wanna say like you tired? Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about you. He was tired. He have personal problem, family problem. Nobody cares.
When they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they said, why is it that you're working out so hard? 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face. The others are working out just as hard as you do, and they look sour in the face. Why is that? And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for a goal. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title. So every rep that I do gets me closer to accomplishing that goal, to make this goal, this vision turn into reality. Every single set that I do, every repetition, every weight that I lift will get me a step closer to turn this goal into reality. So I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound squat. I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound bench press. I couldn't wait to do another 2,000 reps of sit-ups. I couldn't wait for the next exercise, for the next half hour of posing and all the kind of things that you have to do to be a champion.
I know every mother ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me happy what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage.
I was running this race. It was a 24-hour race as a relay team. I was with 4 friends. And the format of the race is, you know, you run a mile, I run a mile, whatever team runs the most amount of miles wins the race. He had no teammates.
So many people have that ability. They haven't taken the time to see what they want in life. Therefore, he's crazy, I'm crazy. They put a title on us, and you know what a title does to people? A title is the greatest separator of all time. It allows you to go away in your comfort zone saying, he's just nuts. He's special person. That gives you a get out of jail free card. You can go ahead and be normal now, because we're special people.
No, we found what we want in life.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey.
I want to live in this world where our brains are keeping us in this box. Outside that box, on the other edge of suffering, which is on the other edge of that 40%, is a world that's endless of opportunity. But we are afraid to go outside that box because in that box is comfortable. That's where all of our nice stuff, that's where the nice 4-lane highway's at. I know where the restrooms are at. I know where the gas stations are at. Outside that box, man, God gives you a shovel. And he says, man, start digging. That's not fun. But when you dig your own path to all kind of stuff that's unknown. And that's why I started realizing, man, like on the other end of this is some beautiful stuff. So I got outside my box and realized, man, 300 pounds, now look at me, I'm 185 pounds. And on the other side of the box was all this stuff. And I didn't know it was over there until I climbed the wall and saw it.
So what wall are you climbing now?
Man, right now, I've climbed a lot of walls. There's no more walls anymore. The reason why is because I know how to climb.
It's the moments in life, the decisions you make on a moment-to-moment basis that add up to be the guy or not the guy. Tonight, I did something, that I feel more of a guy. For me, who I am, my guy. Repeat that over and over and over again. It's just, one, it's a better life. You feel like more confident, you have a better sense of reality. The way you go about your day is in a more productive fashion. You're more goal-oriented. They all just synergetically go together into a movement, a force that's very unstoppable, man.
Nothing's permanent. That's why I'm always big on, you have to keep what you want to be in the front of your mind. Because you're going to always lose it within the suffering. And suffering, people always hear me say suffering, it's not just physical, man. There's so many forms of suffering out here, it's not even funny. And most of them are not physical. Most of them are psychological.
Why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
You better make sure in the next season of your life that the person who walked away from you know what they're missing. You better do something so strong and so big with your life that they have to sit on the couch and say, that's the one that got by. Man, I should have just stayed in there a little bit longer. I should have been a little more patient. I should have prayed a little bit harder. Do something with your life that makes them regret turning you away and turning you over.
When you watch television, waste time, hang out, fool around, and so on, all of that counts as well. And it's going on the negative side of your ledger. A person who has a great life by the law of accumulation is a person who's accumulated far more credits, more pluses on the credit side than debits on the debit side. And here's an important point. If what you are doing is not moving you towards your goals, then it's probably moving you away from your goals. Nothing is neutral. Everything that you're doing is either moving you toward the things that you want to accomplish in life, the person you want to be, the wealth you want to accumulate, or it's moving you away.
Just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful in whatever you put your mind to. Make sure you live in the moment and work your butt off every single day.
Instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start. when in reality, starting is the perfect condition.
People who don't have a sense of purpose, a mission, and don't have a consistent routine end up digging holes in their life. And it's not always Vicodin or some drug addiction. It could come as something benign as porn, gambling, over-drinking, too much television, things that slowly chip away at humanity, things that people use to escape, vaping, binge-watching television. All of these things are digging holes in your life that ultimately you look back and you realize there's such a chasm between you and your spouse, that you and your kids barely know each other, even though you live under the same roof, that you've got this dad bod with a pot belly and pointy titties and pear-shaped. And you're like, whoa, where'd this come from? It was the absence of purpose and it was absence of routine. We need it. Otherwise, humans dig the holes in their lives too, no different than a German Shepherd would.
The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
You have emotional maturity, you realize that some days you're not going to sleep well. Some days you're going to wake up and you've got your schedule and everything's planned out and the poop hits the fan. You got to eat those shit sandwiches, right? And whether things go well or not that day, the emotionally mature man will still do what he has to do to stack his wins, to focus on his purpose, whereas the emotionally immature man will say, well, I didn't sleep well, I had nightmares, so I'll stay in bed. I didn't sleep well, or it's raining outside, it's cold outside, I don't feel good. I just woke up and the airplanes hit the World Trade Center, so I guess I have to change my pattern of life. You have to stay the course no matter what, and it takes a high level of emotional maturity because your emotions dictate your motion.
You have to discipline yourself. And the issue is, well, how? That's not really the relevant question. You can pick a disciplinary path. That's why I often tell my clients, especially young people, they say, well, I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay. Nobody does. Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
This next generation that's coming up, and I don't mean to smash all of them, but they seem like a bunch of pussies to me, you know? So because of that, there's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man.
The man who never failed, has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is. The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater glory. Wow. That man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never failed. There's no glory in that.
You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's two conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it. Okay, so let's say you're willing to play that game. Might be wrong, because who knows, you're going to get run over by a bus tomorrow, but you know, you're going to play the game. Okay, now the next step is, all right, figure out what you want. Write it down. Figure out what you could do to start moving towards that. Okay, do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Think about your misuse of alcohol and drugs and other things that might drag you down.
Because, yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes, man.
I don't want to live in a hole anymore. It makes me feel poor.
We are poor, but we're happy.
Come see, come ça. Anyway, the views are better above ground. Lee, I'm 7 non-Fox years old now. My father died at 7.5. I don't want to live in a hole anymore. And I'm going to do something about it.
Everything's going to go south on you. Everything's going to go south, and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem. Then you solve the next one. And then the next. And if you solve enough problems, you get to come home.
This is my life. In that restaurant, I quit my job, left my canister in that restaurant, my spray canister, got back in my Ecolab truck, and I went home. And I started working out like somebody. I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. You can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you.
You don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
When you were born, you are a phenomenon. You are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experience with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that to create a career path.
To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am, you know, and not to wear it on my sleeve, be very humble about it. That's one thing my parents taught me very well.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And your plan has got to have something I call the C5 complex. Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You've got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B.
Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, a discipline and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just apply it to everything that I want to do. So I would say that, you know, I rarely go out, you know, reading, you know what I'm saying, trying to reverse engineer how to be successful. Like, how do I, you know, start my own production company? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I always felt like if other cats was out partying and I was home studying, I would have an edge. If I'm eating food, I'll save the best for last. You know what I'm saying? I'll eat around it to the one part that I really want to eat. I'm gonna save that. I'm a delayed, you know what I'm saying, gratification. I'm that type of person. So like, I'm literally like, all right, I will party later. I work hard now, so the second half of my life, I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's been my mentality. It's like, I'm not going to trick off my early years for partying and then worry about struggling, how I'm going to make it, how I'm going to take care of my family, how I'm going to take care of everybody else. Like, that's not going to be me. I'm going to grind it out now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to set up the foundation so I can enjoy myself later. That's always been my mentality, and that works for me.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
Life begins now. If it doesn't begin now, your life is fucking over.
I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
And my 3 questions are, what do you want? How badly do you want it? And how much are you willing to suffer? And very often, everything revolves around the first question, what do you want? Because a lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? So, what do you want is a very powerful question. And then, if an athlete says, I want to be the best, Bill, fine. How badly do you want it? Because you've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder, you've got to commit more, you've got to take more responsibility, you've got to deal with more ups and downs. And if we can deal with that question, how much are you willing to suffer? Because I work with gold medal champions and they suffer every day. They work enormously hard. They sacrifice enormous things in order to get that success.
The people that don't come in here because they're tired of stuff are people that don't believe in themselves. That's why they don't see the asset of being in the gym to grow. They see it as a waste of time because they don't believe they can ever get there. So therefore, why take the precautionary steps to sharpen and hone the arsenal to really go to battle? Because they don't even want to go to battle because they know they're going to lose. It's up to the individual to allow the dreariness to set inside. Do we worry about external factors, or do we worry about what's inside of ourselves? Those 2 different things are the 2 measures of confidence, positive and negative confidence. And negative confidence is an egocentric person. Bases all their performance trying to achieve third parties' agreeability, their likeness, their thumbs up, because we value their opinion. Those kind of people allow this mood and weather and everything to set in to dictate their performance of the day. There's also another side, the positive side of confidence. It starts from within. It's called pride. That doesn't value rain, sun, if there's someone in the corner looking at them, if it's 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, that pride is always awake, always turning, always burning for the ideology of greatness to be matured into reality. That's internal pride. No one can alter that. But if you're coming in here with an ego, you better check it right here in the parking lot, because that will destroy your efforts in there. It also will probably destroy you physically, because an ego person puts others first in their opinion second. So they're always willing to gamble themselves to adhere to what the third party people want. That's a recipe for disaster, guys. Inside we grow. You start from here and it comes out. This workout's called Pictorial Pride.
So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me fucking happy, what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. You talk about that you were, lonely by yourself. I was the same way. And that used to hurt me growing up. Now I fucking thrive in that shit. That's the only place to be.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, it's gonna disappoint you. You're gonna forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're gonna forever be miserable, man.
Two forms of pain. Pain that breaks you and the pain that changes you. That's the pain of a change right there. That's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you isn't this shit. It's later in life knowing you could have been more, and all that's left is you and the mirror and tears of a possibility left. And all your endeavors, schoolwork, the gym, your career, your relationship, your needs attached to it. It's gotta mean more than anything.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what the you're doing. You can't just quit. Remember this, it's in the hobby, it's in the joke, it's a lifestyle. So what you say to yourself is important. There's no coach, there's no trainer to keep you going, it's only you. So think about this, you've been working your whole life to get a seat at the table. The seat at the table is you want to be the best amongst all the best people in your career field. So you finally get that letter. It's steak, lobster, it's a big dinner. Everybody's showing up, dressed to the nines. Make sure you show up soaking wet from getting after it, working out hard. Towel around your neck. You respect the event. So make sure you put that towel on that nice chair so you don't f it up. The whole thing is this. Don't say a word. Stay uncommon amongst uncommon people. You're never done. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
If your definition of success is win or lose, giving everything you've got and growing or learning along the way, then you're setting yourself up for success. I really think the biggest cheat code in life is just going after it and not being concerned of whether or not you fail at one specific task. Instead, understanding the big picture, what your long-term goal is, and knowing if you keep driving forward and never f***ing quit, in the end you will succeed.
We must constantly look at things in a different way. Boys, you must strive to find your own voice. Because the longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it at all. Thoreau said most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Don't be resigned to that.
Never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control. And if you get too engrossed and involved and concerned in regard to things over which you have no control, it will adversely affect the things over which you have control. If you make the effort to do the best of which you're capable, trying to improve the situation that exists for you, I think that's success, and I don't think others can judge that. I think it's like character and reputation.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Losers see thunderstorms. Winners see rainbows. Losers see icy streets. Winners put on their ice skates. Losers take chances. Winners make choices. It's all in the way you choose to think.
Use your imagination. See yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency, and you do think on frequencies. It's on that frequency that good you desire is going to start coming toward you, and you will start moving toward it. If you want to attract what you actually want, you've got to see yourself now already with it, and know it's only a period of time until you moving toward it and it moving toward you, and you become one with it.
What people don't understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself. Scratch, friction, obstacles create growth. There's no friction when you're this far up in the game anymore. Do hard work. You can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are. But that's the part people don't want to dive into.
Nothing is going to change unless you change what you're doing. Change the junk food that you're eating. Change the time that you wake up. Change what you do when you get out of bed. Change what you do with your time. You have to change some things or nothing will change. So make changes and start little. Get up a little bit earlier. Get a workout done. Doesn't have to be epic. Doesn't have to be epic.
Second place isn't an option anymore, guys. The more you give in here, the more you get out there. Why would you not want to give it at all? What else are you gonna do? You come here and kill it right now? Or stay home on the couch? You know, watching the light pass you by. I know it sounds like habitual what I say all the time, but sometimes you got it ingrained in your head. What else would you be doing right now? taking the time off, or taking the time to get ahead. It's just, that seems so simple to me, that solution, that the choice is there. If it doesn't seem so easy to you, it's because you don't believe in yourself. You believe in yourself, you want to be in here killing it. Because it's giving you that much more of a chance, because you believe you can come that. The people that don't come in here because they're tired of stuff are people that don't believe in themselves. That's why they don't see the asset of being in the gym to grow. They see it as a waste of time because they don't believe they can ever get there. So therefore, why take the precautionary steps to sharpen and hone the arsenal to really go to battle? Because they don't even want to go to battle because they know they're going to lose.
If you don't change what you're doing and how you do it, nothing else will change.
You gotta start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good.
This society is too weak. And why? Because of all the technology which is available right now, so you don't need to use your body anymore. I always think about in the Stone Ages. Do you think somebody in the Stone Ages had depression? Yeah, or even a more modern variation, the Spartans. You think they had depression? Maybe you are laughing, but all of these groups, they are too busy with their body, they are too busy with activity to be depressed.